Sonny, great to see you. How have you been?
Great, Joe. Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate your time as usual. It's interesting times we live in, no doubt. We had a great conversation last year in last year's podcast, but then after that podcast, I was at your conference. I think it was in July-ish, give or take, in New Jersey. Great event. Uh,
September 1st.
yeah,
Joe.
yeah, and the conversation heavily there was all about talent. The MSPs trying to solve for talent. And not only were you solving for talent on the personnel side, but you're solving for talent on the software side. For MSPs who may not have heard that message in mid 2021, and now as we fast forward to March 2022, give us an update. How are you solving for talent?
Yeah, so we are focusing on three T's, Joe.
Okay.
Uh, T1 is about tech talent, dedicated tech talent for MSPs, ready to go the same day. Then the second T is for our talent tool called Team GPS. This tool is empowering MSP leaders to better manage their talent in terms of talent alignment, engagement. So that is our tool. And the third T is trainings. So we have this amazing Build It community that we have built with leadership development programs. It's like a peer group, but it's led by industry leaders like Jack Daly is doing sales, for example, John C. Maxwell's Leadership Academy. So we have the trainings. So we are providing tech talent, which
Mhm.
is the need of the hour. We are providing a talent tool, and we are providing trainings to MSPs teams so that we can educate them, we can give them a tool to better manage the technology and the people component. So those are the three major pieces of any business, including MSP: people, technology, and overall the trainings. So we
Mhm.
are covering those three aspects of MSP business.
Got it. Fantastic. Now, solving for talent isn't new to you. IT by Design has been growing very rapidly, assisting MSPs with that talent gap for many years. So walk me through each one of these areas, each one of the three areas. First, the people side. Have things changed, or are you still solving sort of the same talent gap on the people side for the MSPs?
No, it's the same. So same solution for MSPs.
Mhm.
We are giving them L1, L2, L3 engineers, project engineers, for a flat fee on a monthly basis. So the solution is the same, but just like everyone else, we are seeing talent wars. So it is hard to retain talent and it's hard to attract talent. But we have built a very powerful recruitment machine in the U.S. and India and Philippines. So having that access to global talent markets is more of our trademark strength. And we have a huge recruitment engine that we are putting behind attracting and hiring tech talent. And then we have a great internal training program where we are training people on MSP tool set and solutions. So challenges are the same, but it's just because of very tight market. We see that challenge as well, and we are facing that challenge as well.
Got it. Okay. And tell me a little bit about the range of MSP scale that you can support, because some help desk providers, they'll focus on the very low end or on mid market, et cetera. But as I was at your conference, I saw MSPs of all sizes and backgrounds. Is there a particular size that you appeal to, or are you quite broad in terms of who's engaging with you?
Yeah, so we're looking at from the quality, like overall the fit criteria, where our partner will have a really great experience with us is if they have enough maturity to onboard people and kind of really so they have a good sized team. So for example, 10 plus people MSPs normally will have a service dispatcher or service manager where owner is not running around and doing tech work. If
Right.
owner is doing tech work and that is the startup MSP or initial stage MSP, that's where we don't do well, because we create an extension of their team by having dedicated people for them, but we need that true partnership to co-manage these resources. So what works well are the type of MSPs where they really are able to leverage us for their bottom line health and their overall helping them scale, is MSPs where they have a management team, or they have at least service manager, and they have enough operational maturity that processes are well defined.
Got it. Okay. So tell me a little bit on the tool side, and I'll phrase it this way. You're more than people, far more than people. You're also a SaaS company, a software company. You made quite a few announcements on the software front at the conference roughly 8 months ago, and I've seen some milestones since then in terms of some of the R&D you've been doing, some of the things you've rolled out. Tell us a little bit about that. How are your software tools empowering MSPs on the talent front?
Yeah, so we have made a huge investment, Joe, in the software. And so the client engagement, the employee engagement modules. So we launched client engagement module at our conference. Employee engagement module was launched in November of last year. And so the idea there is to give one platform to MSPs where they are able to use this talent tool for better talent management and engagement. And so MSP using this tool is able to measure and manage employee experience, because you can do custom surveys, you can do employee net promoter score. So you can have that pulse of your people. It helps you understand your culture engagement. Then you have the client side of the surveys, like tickets that techs are working on, and the survey that goes after the ticket, or the net promoter score of MSPs and customer. It gives them that pulse, and it connects those two things into the engineer's scorecard. So it's like a 360 review, performance review it can help you with. And when you look at the tool, Joe, our kind of purpose at IT by Design is to build a happy, healthy community at work. And that's our mantra. That's how, I'm building a community at work. And I'm like, what if I can create more happy places? Because now a MSP using this tool can empower their people leaders to have the team that having that monitor or the sense or the pulse of their culture, and having that alignment with the company goals and strategy, because that's what it takes to create employee experience that we all want to create, which leads to then retention of your top talent. It leads to having a strong culture that attracts more top talent. And MSP's product is talent. If they can do well with the talent management, then not only they are making positive impact on lives that work within that MSP, but they're also able to scale very effectively, because it takes people to scale MSP businesses.
Yeah. As when you were announcing this on stage, and then in the follow-up press releases and media announcements since then, one of the themes, and you just touched on it, but the theme that really struck me was it's not only about individual career development, but it's alignment of each career, all those MSP employees being aligned to the overall MSP company goal, and then it creates synergies there, and hopefully a multiplier effect of more and more success. Is that how MSPs are consuming it at this point?
Yeah, so it's about having that alignment of their scorecards with the department scorecard, and then alignment with the company scorecard. So everything is more like a connective tissue that you can see how you as an individual are contributing to the success of the company, how you are helping that CEO realize his vision, and you have that role clarity, you have your contributions clarity, and you don't need to measure your success that if you were paid last week or not paid, because that's what normally you see. I interview a lot of people, and I'm like, how you were doing? He's like, I was getting my paycheck. I was not given any feedback. There was no reviews, quarterly, annual, or some kind of feedback mechanism or communication from my manager. So this allows MSPs to be intentional about making sure that communication is there, engagement is there, and alignment is there.
That makes sense. And it's funny too, Chris, you just mentioned quarterly business reviews. So many MSPs are really good at having quarterly business reviews with their customers, but not so good with their own employees. So this changes that, hopefully.
Yeah, so we have the CDP called, it's a career development plan. And for leaders, it's a leadership development plan. It's well defined to understand where the company, is going, what roles are coming up, and where individuals want to go, what's their personal vision of success. And if you take that and create that alignment, at the end of the day, we all want bigger future. At the end of the day, we all want growth. And if we can all be in alignment to rise together, we are learning and winning and rising together. That's a wonderful community that you can create at work.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So you mentioned the people component of this. You mentioned the tool component of it. The third piece, I believe, was training, correct? I mean, what type of training and education are you getting involved in here, and how are MSPs potentially benefiting?
Yeah, so our flagship event is Build It Live, Joe.
Yeah.
You have experienced that, the type of quality, fun, Statue of Liberty experience. And we are hosting it on July 24th this year. So that's the annual kind of training, learning opportunities by, bringing in Gary Vee type of people. We are bringing Profit First keynote this year. So having keynote speakers and breakout sessions where breakouts are by, industry or MSP thought leaders. And so that's one opportunity in terms of training, or how can we educate our MSP partners where they are well aligned with where industry is going. The second opportunity in trainings under Build It brand is COPs. We call it community of practice. It's kind of peer group, but very different approach to peer group. We still have 10 CEOs per group, but they meet on a quarterly basis for 2 days, and it's normally virtual nowadays. But we do bring in educator like Jack Daly or John C. Maxwell, or very like national level subject matter experts on that subject. And because of that, their subject matter expertise, not only CEOs are learning from each other's on that subject, or they're doing benchmarking or anything that normally a typical peer group will do, but this is where a world-class educator is coming in for 2 days, which is very hard to get. Like Jack Daly will normally charge you, maybe 6 figures for 2 days.
Yeah.
Here, with more of scholarships and other things that we are paying, it is a very minimal fee, and they have access to Jack Daly type of people for 2 days. So that is our COP, community of practice. That's one way we are training people. The second way, so the first way is Build It Live. The second way is community of practice. The third one is the online university. So when we're kind of creating these adult learning classes from our breakout sessions or these community of practice sessions, or just in general, whenever we have an opportunity to bring in an expert and create a course, we upload that to our Build It University. So it's a self-paced learning using our online tool. Is that community of practice, and it is the Build It Live, the annual program.
Okay. Is that mostly on demand? I can go anytime I want and consume anything I want there?
Yes, the online university is on demand.
Okay.
The COPs are quarterly, just like any other peer group.
Right.
And the annual is the annual conference that we do.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to this year's event. Thank you each year for the invite. I love attending. I always learn a ton. For MSPs who want to potentially learn more about the event or maybe reach out to you, are there any particular URLs or email addresses you would recommend?
Yeah, so one is itbd.net, the easiest way to learn about all of our products. And email to, so SKaila@itbd.net or leads@itbd.net. That comes to our, so anything, if you don't know, it's the general question, you can just send it to leads@itbd.net.
Fantastic. Well, Sonny, thank you as usual for the education and for catching up with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. I appreciate you.